So, the Switch 2 came out, and I didn't buy one. Not because I couldn't find it, not because I missed the memo. I saw it. I held it. I even hovered over the add to cart button once or twice. But in the end, I just didn't. Something about the Switch 2 felt off. Not broken, not bad, just not exciting. Like, where's the hype? Where's the magic? Where's the thing that makes me feel like I need this in my life right now? Instead of impulse buying it, I stepped back, I waited, and now some time's passed, and I've got a lot to say. The hype wasn't there, the games weren't there, and honestly, I want one, but instead, I'm sitting here wondering what the heck is even going on. So let's talk about it, because this launch was weird. I remember launch day like it was yesterday. I walked into Walmart around noon, not camping out, not rushing, just casually strolling through, and they were there. Switch 2 consoles, just sitting there, in the case. At least 8 of them, maybe 9, not touched, and I remember thinking, wow, these things really aren't selling. For a Nintendo launch, that felt almost eerie. This is the same company that had grandmas punching each other over a Wii. And people were freezing outside Best Buy for a Switch 1 initially. So yeah, seeing rows of shiny new Switch 2s just chilling in the glass at noon, that told me something. Or at least, I thought it did. Because the next day, gone. Not just at that store, every store. Target, sold out. Best Buy, sold out. GameStop, out of stock. And since then, I haven't seen a single one in the wild. No restocks, no in-store pickup, no second wave. It's like it launched and then it vanished in the same breath. And maybe it's just my area where I live, but there aren't any here at the moment, and it's almost been a month. For a second there, it felt like the Switch 2 was everywhere. Every creator I follow was just rushing out to grab one, showing it off like they just discovered electricity or something. And yeah, I get it, new hardware is exciting, but now that some time's passed, I think it's kind of funny how quiet it's gotten. Like, is anyone actually playing the Mario Kart World machine? I don't know. It feels like everyone posted the box and then moved on. And that's the thing, this didn't feel like the launch of a generation. It felt like Nintendo just dropped it and ghosted. And with how quickly it disappeared from the shelves without restocks, without noise, it started to feel less like a revolution and more like a test run. And honestly, I wasn't ready to buy into it. Not yet. Especially when the entire launch feels like something that's banking on one new game. That's a really tough sell. If there's one thing that gives me a pause about the Switch 2, it's the Joy-Cons. Joy-Con drift has been a nightmare for so many people, including me. I've owned 6 different Joy-Cons over the years, and right now only 2 of them are actually working without drift. That's not just frustrating, that's straight up unacceptable for hardware that's supposed to last. Nintendo said they redesigned the Joy-Cons for the Switch 2, and maybe that's true, but after years of dealing with the same issue, I'm skeptical. Drift is one of those problems that either gets fixed or it doesn't, and so far, Nintendo hasn't exactly earned my trust. The question is, will these new controllers hold up longer? Or will I be back at the store buying more for... Wait, that can't be right. $95? That's not a controller price, that's a small appliance price. Until we know these things won't start drifting by the weekend, I'm not buying in. It's just not worth the gamble. So, what did the Nintendo Switch 2 launch with? Well, that's an easy one. Mario Kart. That's it. Not a bold new Mario, not some new Zelda reveal, just another lap around the Mushroom Kingdom. And look, Mario Kart's great, it's timeless. But when you're selling a brand new console, timeless isn't enough. You need something that stops people in their tracks, something that says, yeah, I need to play this right now. But for me, that just didn't cut it. And the thing is, Nintendo knows how to launch a system. Do you remember Wii Sports? The game that came in the box and practically sold the console by itself? Motion controls, bowling with the whole family, accidentally throwing your controller into the TV. What a time to be alive. That was magic. That was momentum. So why put everything on Mario Kart this time around? It feels like they're holding back, waiting to make a move, which begs the question, what would it take to get me excited? A new Smash Bros? Absolutely. Mario Odyssey 2? Yes, please. Metroid Prime 4? I'd be the first in line. And here's a kicker. The welcome tour to learn how to use the console is a $10 paid app. $10 just to figure out how to use the thing you just bought. If that's how Nintendo treats their new users, I'm not exactly feeling the love. Nintendo has the power to blow us away, but right now, it feels like they're playing it safe. And I didn't skip the Switch 2 because I hate Nintendo. I skipped it because I know they can do better. They can earn my trust back, but it won't be so easy. Part of me feels like I dodged a bullet, like waiting might actually be the play. Because as much as I love Nintendo, they've taught me one thing. Never trust launch day. Wait for the revision. The Switch 2 Pro XL Turbo Deluxe, or whatever they end up calling it, might be worth waiting out for. I bought the original Switch the year it launched, not the day, but still. And it took Nintendo 4 years to drop the OLED model. So if I wait for the Switch 2 OLED, that means I'm signing up for a 4-year patience marathon all over again. Now, the Switch 2 doesn't exactly feel like it's cutting-edge tech. It feels more like Nintendo finally catching up to Xbox and Sony. Industry standard, not industry leading. It's like upgrading from a flip phone to an iPhone. You're finally in the game, but everyone else has been FaceTiming for years. To be fair, they deserve credit for doubling down on their handheld gaming. That's still their unique edge, but not for much longer. With the PlayStation Portal being out and Xbox on the horizon with their brand new handheld Xbox ROG Ally hitting the scene soon, Nintendo's handheld crown is starting to feel a little less secure. But beyond that, it feels just like a solid console that checks the boxes, nothing more, nothing less. And honestly, I'm not sure that I have it in me to wait that long again. I guess I'm stuck somewhere in the middle. Happy I didn't wait forever, but also a little annoyed I didn't wait just a little bit longer. There are millions of gamers out there who didn't buy the Switch 2 for what it launched with. They bought it for what might come later. Maybe it's Mario Odyssey 2, maybe it's a proper new Pokemon that isn't held together with duct tape. Maybe it's F-Zero crawling out of its grave. No matter what game they're waiting for, people bought it on hope, on trust, on the idea that Nintendo always delivers eventually. And yeah, that loyalty runs deep, but it's also kind of terrifying, because the Switch 2 sold out so quickly, and not because it wowed anyone, but because it was just the bigger, better version of what already existed, the Switch 1, which was a great console, and it always will be. So this new one, it's riding the legacy of something that's already beloved. That tells Nintendo, you don't have to blow us away, just show up with some more of the same stuff and we'll be right here. They didn't raise the bar, they lowered it, and people bought it anyway. Mario Kart's doing all the heavy lifting here, and when one franchise carries your whole launch, it's not innovation, it's coasting. I'm not saying it won't get better, but if we keep rewarding with the bare minimum will become the standard. I do want to talk about the price point just a little bit. I do think the $500 Mario Kart bundle honestly isn't terrible. It's cheaper than a halfway decent gaming PC and not far off from what Xbox and PlayStation are asking. And let's be real, Nintendo knows exactly what they're doing. They slap Mario on that box and suddenly it's not a purchase, it's a reunion. You're not buying a console, you're buying a ticket back to childhood. So yeah, I didn't buy the Switch 2 yet, but there's just something about that sexy plumber I just can't forget. Nintendo knows it too. That's why they keep sticking them on every box, every game, every ad. Because no matter how safe or quiet this launch was, Mario's charm still sells. And maybe that's enough for most people, but for me, I want more than charm. I want the magic back. So Nintendo, if you're out there, please show me you still have it, because I'm not sold yet. And I know I'm not alone.